This is exactly what found footage is supposed to be. Welcome to WWH. My name is Andrew Dreamer, and we have an amazing show for you today. If you are new here, hit that subscribe button and turn your notifications on so you never miss a single episode. Leave a like and a comment down below. And also head over to Patreon and become a member of the WWH Universe. There are a lot of really cool perks over there, so go check it out. Today we are taking a look at the newest installment in one of my favorite horror franchises. I've stated before that I'm not a huge fan of found footage movies, but this series absolutely does it right. This is what I want out of a found footage film. Hell House LLC Origins, the Carmichael Manor. While the name could use a little work possibly, the movie itself is really good, and this is the fourth movie in the franchise now. After the third entry, it seemed like the series was over for good, but when I heard there was going to be a new movie coming out, I was excited. I was trepidatious for sure, but I couldn't help my excitement. I just wanted them to come up with a good idea that was separate from the original story. Maybe just set it within the same universe or something. And while that's mostly true, the stories are definitely connected. They did an amazing job with connecting the stories in a way that felt natural while still letting this story develop and breathe on its own. This film was written and directed by Stephen Cognetti. It stars Bridget Rose Perota, Destiny Leilani Brown, and James Liddell. I love that Stephen Cognetti has basically made an entire career out of this one franchise, and it seems to be working out really well for him. The way he makes a movie is the perfect example how you can make a small budget go a very long way. But let's get down to the ring and get this show officially started. The film opens up with our main characters who are internet sleuths heading to their next location.
We are about 30 minutes from our new home, the Carmichael Manor.
The Carmichael Manor, where in 1989 several members of the family were killed and two others haven't been seen since.
The Carmichael Manor is home to a grisly murder that occurred right upstairs from where I stand.
The belief was that the father, Arthur, killed his wife and daughter, Catherine. It was also believed that he killed their son, Patrick, and disposed of his body elsewhere. There was snow on the ground that year, and the police only found one set of footprints in the snow. Throughout the course of the footage, we learn that things are never what they seem. We also get the interviews interspersed through the film that have become an integral part of the franchise. Our sleuths finally arrive at their destination, where they are greeted by Donald, who is renting the house to them for 5 days. He gives them the grand tour and explains that most people don't last more than a couple days in the house.
I told him to give you 10 days. I mean, truthfully, you could have 20 if you wanted. Really, nobody stays here more than a few nights.
There is one room, however, that he does not show them. He says it's an old storage room that he doesn't even have a key for anymore.
That is old storage. Truthfully, I haven't been in there in years. I don't even have a key for it anymore.
He leaves and the girls begin their investigation immediately. Margot tells Rebecca that her brother Chase will be joining them, but Rebecca isn't thrilled with the idea. The storage room is suddenly opened, and what's inside? Well, it's some very familiar looking clown mannequins.
What is all this?
I don't know.
Oh my God.
It's here you start to see the connections to the original Hell House. Chase shows up and they begin looking at evidence in the Carmichael case. Rebecca also has to prepare her presentation for her new job. She works on that too. She also tells Margot this will be the last time that she goes on an adventure with her for a while because she really wants to focus on this new job. Well, that came just one adventure too late. Chase and Rebecca have a conversation about how their mother called Margot and told her that Chase had an incident and Margot invited him so she could keep an eye on him.
What do you want me to say here, Chase?
That mom called and told you I had an incident and you thought that this would be the best way to keep an eye on me?
That night, Rebecca hears what sounds like singing and they try to find where the sound came from, but can't. The next morning, as Rebecca changes the bed sheets, the camera captures a dead body in the bed and covered in blood.
Figure if this is gonna be our last adventure together, may as well have fresh sheets, right?
They continue looking in the storage room where they find some old carny games and clown outfits, giving Margot flashbacks to a time when she was a kid and someone tried to lure her away with him from a county fair. The girls head to a nearby antique store and leave Chase behind, where he experiences some scary stuff, including the mannequins moving and even a girl peering at him around a doorway. At the antique store, Margot and Rebecca find several things recovered from the burnt-down Abaddon hotel.
Oh, look at this.
Yeah, wow. There it is.
Jesus.
Hidden inside of an old clock is a note and a film reel. Margot sends the footage to her friend to develop. The developed footage shows the Carmichael family playing a prank. Patrick and Margaret trick their sister Catherine by peering around the doorway just as Chase has just seen. It's interesting how this footage was hidden away inside the Abaddon for so long. Also inside that clock was a necklace that we later learned belonged to Catherine. As the group looks through the new evidence, the power goes off, and when it comes back on, they see a red ball on the floor. Chase and Rebecca then have a conversation about how they're not comfortable in the house.
So like if at any point this gets to be too much for you and you want to leave, just know that I totally have your back, okay?
Rebecca is giving her presentation the next day for work over a video chat, giving us one of the biggest scares in the entire film. To me, it is the biggest scare. It's actually terrifying. She begins sharing her screen to show off some of the houses she has been researching to renovate. She starts clicking through her slideshow and everything seems normal until a picture of the Abaddon appears. Her boss is confused, but they move on to the next file, where immediately we recognize the pictures are of the Carmichael house.
Wait, I'm sorry, this isn't right.
The pictures are seemingly moving throughout the house and up the stairs. When we get to the top, we see someone sitting at a desk where Rebecca's boss asks if that's her. Rebecca grows more and more terrified with each click of her mouse as the pictures get closer and closer. Once inside the room, we see somebody standing next to Rebecca, and the very last image we see is the entity right in Rebecca's face. She and her boss scream as the call disconnects. And from this point forward, the internet is completely out. Margot is fascinated, but Rebecca is furious, and the two have a giant fight. Rebecca is ready to leave now, along with Chase, but Margot tries to guilt them into staying, making it more apparent that she is obsessed with finding proof that it's all real. Unfortunately for these characters, they in fact did not leave here. Throughout the film, Chase is the one that comforts Rebecca when Margot seems clueless or maybe just uncaring.
The internet hasn't worked since my presentation, so who knows?
Hey, you're gonna be all right.
They then find a picture of clowns at the fair Margot had her incident at all those years ago. Or at least that's how I took it. But it's also a connection between the house and the Abaddon. They hear noises and investigate, beginning a series of events familiar to those who have seen the other Hell House movies. The clown mannequins begin appearing throughout the house, first upstairs in a bedroom and then in a closet by the front door. Actually, the same closet we saw Patrick come out of in earlier footage. That night, Chase tells Margot the real reason he came to the house. He had disappeared for a couple of days, and during that time he met a little girl who said that she couldn't find her mom. The girl told him that they were staying at a hotel, which is creepy in itself. The last thing she told him was to go with Margot, and the next day he received the phone call with the invite. Later on, Margot is woken up by something that sounded like a shout and a thud. The next morning, they find Chase's packed bag at the very top of the staircase, but Chase is nowhere to be found.
Is that Jesus?
Chase? Chase!
His phone is still in his bedroom, and it's here that we see the last footage that Chase shot. He was in his room and kept hearing a knock at his door, but no one there. Eventually, he wakes up one last time to find a completely different mannequin in the room. It's the OG Clowny Boy from Hell House. This is also the first time we see the mannequin physically move in the series, making it so much scarier. It follows Chase into the hall and kills him.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Please, 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 please.
We then get more flashback footage of Patrick being distraught over the death of his sister. Catherine is filming him and he's saying some weird things, even having Margaret's bloody dress in his room. His room is the storage room that was locked. He leaves the house and Catherine looks through his stuff. She finds some sheet music and plays the all too familiar pseudo theme song of this series. After waiting a while, hoping Chase would come back, the girls decide to leave finally, but the car won't start because, of course, this is a horror movie. They end up walking and get pretty far, but this match has a run-in from Andrew Tully's cult members, and they have to retreat back to the house.
Yeah, okay.
They take refuge in their room, where Margot finally realizes the gravity of their situation. They receive messages from Chase's phone saying he met some new friends who want to meet them. Margot so badly wants this to be her brother, but Rebecca knows that it's just not. We get more flashbacks with Patrick returning home saying that he was in jail. The incident with Tully and his followers has happened at this point, and this is another cool connection between this and the original movie, because in the first movie we were told that one of the cult members wasn't there during this incident because he was in jail.
No, I told you I was in jail. Got into a fight.
Do you know what happened? The hotel you worked at, they're all dead.
Rebecca finally gets a little cell service and calls 911, but Margot hears Chase's voice and leaves the room. Rebecca, now alone, is attacked and killed. Margot goes into Chase's room where she finds his dead body. She runs, but the clown mannequin stops her and chases her until he finally catches her and kills her as well. We see an image of Margot at the fair when she was a kid with that very clown in the background. We get one last flashback that shows us Patrick putting on that clown costume and crossing over to be with the other cult members, meaning that it's been him the whole time. This entity is Patrick Carmichael. The film also has a post-credits scene setting up the next film, which I cannot wait for. I seriously love this movie. This might be the best entry in the franchise. We do have to take a look at the positives and the negatives, but first we have to take a quick break, so stick around and we will be right back. If you're looking to save 20% off of your entire order from redcon1.com, look no further because I have the perfect deal for you. If you will go to that website, redcon1.com, put some items in your shopping cart, and when you're checking out, use the code AndrewDreamer to save 20% off of your entire order. It's a really good deal. They have really good products. I use them in my everyday life and, of course, my gym life. So, go to their website, look for some products to help you achieve that highest state of readiness, and use code AndrewDreamer at checkout to save 20%. Welcome back. Let's head back down to the ring. My first positive for this film is the extreme care taken by the filmmakers to make sure every detail connects in a believable way. Continuity can be a tough thing, but they really made everything work in the best possible way. It actually seems like Stephen Cognetti has had all of this planned out from the very beginning. And he might have, but I don't think so. I think he's just working really hard to make sure his movies are as good as they possibly can be. This movie is the perfect example of how to make a small budget go a long way, like I said earlier. These movies don't cost a lot, and sure, you can tell, but it's all executed in such a good way. The characters are also extremely believable to me. They all have their own personalities, and they actually get fleshed out pretty well. They genuinely seem scared, and that adds so much tension to the story. And speaking of tension, this movie is filled with it. I felt tense from beginning to end. I didn't know what to expect here. This movie is part prequel, hence the word origins in the title, and part spinoff. It's seriously good. The scene with Rebecca giving her presentation is by far my favorite. That scene was so tense, and the jump scare to cap it off was perfection in my opinion. I thought the writing was good, the direction was good, the house itself was amazing. If you've seen this movie, let me know down in the comments what you like about it. On to the negatives now. I don't really have a lot, but sometimes the camera work is a little shaky, but that just comes with the territory. It was really dark at times as well. Some things were just hard to see. And while I have seen the other films, if you haven't, you probably won't understand a lot of what's happening here. There's a lot of backstory and lore within this universe, and it would probably be frustrating watching this if you haven't seen the others. So just be aware of that. There are a few unanswered questions as well, but I'm assuming those will be answered in the next film. All in all, I thought this movie was really good. It was a logical, well-executed next installment in the franchise, and it opened a lot of new doorways and directions for them to take. There's a lot of potential going forward, and I'm extremely excited to see where we go from here. This entire franchise is streaming on Shudder right now, so go check it out for yourself. Let me know down in the comments what your overall thoughts are on the film. Subscribe to the channel, like this video, and check out our Patreon page. Let me know what you want to see on the channel. But next time on WWH, we're going to be looking at the film 1408, starring John Cusack. But until then, my name is Andrew Dreamer, and this is Wrestling with Horror.